What's up, Honeybun Hero here, and welcome to My Thoughts On, a series where I'll talk about a game that we've just beaten. I'll bring up things I enjoyed, things I didn't enjoy, or maybe things I feel were missed opportunities. This time, I'm talking about Bloodborne. I'll start off with my complaints due to there not really being many. My first experience with this game was pretty poor. My file corrupted a few times, and although it was in the very beginning of the game, it worried me that it would happen when I got further in. Due to this, I dropped the game for a while. However, I gave the game another chance and our save file was safe. The main thing I absolutely hated about this game is the nature of lanterns. They were useless as anything other than a teleport, and even then the game's length was probably doubled due to the amount of loading screen one has to go through in order to travel from location to location. It made absolutely no sense to not give the player the ability to use lanterns as a medium to travel to other locations, but instead, we have to travel to the Hunter's Dream, and then where we want to actually go. It felt almost punishing to me. The second thing I didn't like about lanterns is that they would neither heal the player nor resurrect enemies, making farming much more of a hassle than needed. Instead of being able to pick a spot, run through the enemies, and then go back to the lantern, refresh the area, and do it again until you're satisfied, one must use the lantern, go back to the Hunter's Dream, and then back to the area they were farming. This increases the time spent farming due to the amount of loading screens the player has to go through. The next two complaints are somewhat minor ones. I feel reaching the Hypogean Gall, I have no idea how to pronounce this, and the lecture building would be much harder without someone assisting you. The former, maybe not so much. I mean, you just die to a certain enemy, I guess that's not too hard, right? But the latter, maybe it's just me, but I would have never thought to find an item, the tonsil stone, and then let myself get grabbed by this freakishly giant, scary looking creature who, without said item, would have otherwise killed me. I definitely wouldn't have let the thing grab me had I been killed by its grip prior to finding this item. My fourth and last complaint is insight. I'll try to keep this one short because it can get a little lengthy. It's useless. These were the things I didn't like about Bloodborne. But what about things I enjoyed? First off, I love the boss battles. Each fight was very different, and the strategy you can use to fight them is different each time as well. They're also not too incredibly difficult. The only boss I absolutely hated is Gascoigne, and I'll always hate you, Gascoigne. The design of each one is great and creepy looking. Every non-human boss made me go, what the crap, based on their design alone. If I had to pick my top 3 favorite bosses simply on design, I would have to go with, and in no particular order, Rom the Spider, Murgo's Wet Nurse, and the Moon Presence. Next is the environment. Now, at first I actually hated the environment. I got kind of bored with everything being the same design, but then I realized it wasn't so much the style, but rather the very dark colors that are prominent throughout the game. After a while I grew to appreciate the colors as well due to how creepy it made everything. Walking from a damn near ghost town, to a cemetery, to a forest, and all the disfigured, frightening creatures along the way, and this is without taking sound effects such as Murgo's crying into consideration. Lastly, the combat. It took some getting used to, but the combat is my favorite part of the game. The combat is fast-paced, especially after coming from playing Dark Souls, and good play felt rewarding. I never felt that I would instantly die to something unless I really messed up during a certain combo from the enemy, or I was surrounded. Although there were a few instances of one-shots, and I'm still sorry, Murgo's Wet Nurse. So these are my thoughts on Bloodborne. Now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think about the game? Do you disagree or do you agree with some of my points? Let me know. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.